10 Things Never to Say to a Narcissist. Welcome to another episode of our podcast, all about narcissism and narcissists. Today's episode is titled 10 Things Never to Say to a Narcissist. Interacting with a narcissist can be challenging, and certain phrases or comments can escalate conflicts or provoke emotional responses that lead to manipulation or abuse. Understanding what to avoid saying can help you navigate these interactions more effectively and protect your emotional well-being. In this episode, we'll discuss 10 things you should never say to a narcissist and explore alternative approaches for communication. 1. You're being selfish. Why to avoid it? Narcissists often perceive any criticism as a personal attack, leading them to become defensive or hostile. Calling them selfish can provoke anger or further manipulation. Alternative approach: instead of labeling their behavior, express how their actions affect you. For example, say, I feel overlooked when my needs aren't considered. 2. You always do this. Why to avoid it? Generalizations can trigger a narcissist's need to defend their actions and may lead to arguments. They may deny their behavior and accuse you of exaggerating. Alternative approach: use specific examples to illustrate your point without making broad statements. For example, last week, when you dismissed my concerns, I felt hurt. 3. You're overreacting. Why to avoid it? This phrase minimizes their feelings and can escalate their defensiveness. Narcissists often react strongly to perceived invalidation. Alternative approach: acknowledge their emotions without agreeing with them. You might say, I can see you're upset, but I'd like to discuss this calmly. 4. I can't believe you would think that. Why to avoid it? This statement challenges their perspective, which can provoke a hostile response. Narcissists often feel a strong need to be right and may retaliate against perceived slights. Alternative approach: instead of outright disbelief, ask open-ended questions. For example, can you help me understand your viewpoint better? 5. Why can't you just be normal? Why to avoid it? This comment can feel dismissive and condescending. It challenges their identity and can provoke defensiveness or anger. Alternative approach: focus on the behavior rather than labeling them. You might say, I find it difficult when you react in that way. Can we discuss a different approach? 6. You make me feel. Why to avoid it? While it might seem like a way to express your feelings, narcissists often respond with denial or blame, making it a counterproductive statement. Alternative approach: use I statements to express your feelings without placing blame. For example, I feel anxious when conversations become confrontational. 7. You're just like your parent/relative. Why to avoid it? Comparing them to a family member can trigger feelings of shame or defensiveness. Narcissists often feel a strong need to distinguish themselves from their family. Alternative approach: focus on their actions rather than comparisons. For instance, I notice similar patterns in our conversations that I would like to address. 8. You're wrong. Why to avoid it? This statement challenges their self-image and can provoke a strong negative reaction. Narcissists often resist acknowledging fault or mistakes. Alternative approach: instead of outright stating they are wrong, express your perspective. Say, I see it differently, and I'd like to share my thoughts. 9. You should be grateful. Why to avoid it? This comment implies that they are unappreciative and can lead to feelings of shame and resentment. Narcissists often struggle with feelings of entitlement. Alternative approach: instead, emphasize the importance of gratitude in healthy relationships. You might say, I believe expressing gratitude is important for both of us. 10. I'm done with you. Why to avoid it? While this may feel like an empowering statement, it can trigger narcissistic rage and lead to retaliation. They may escalate their manipulative behavior in response. Alternative approach: if you need to end a conversation or relationship, express it calmly and assertively. For example, I need some time to think about things and process my feelings. Conclusion: navigating conversations with a narcissist can be incredibly challenging, and certain phrases can escalate tensions and lead to emotional harm. By recognizing what to avoid saying and employing alternative approaches, you can protect yourself and maintain your emotional well-being. Thank you for joining us in this episode on 10 Things Never to Say to a Narcissist. We hope these insights help you navigate interactions with narcissistic individuals more effectively. Remember, you deserve healthy, respectful relationships built on mutual understanding and empathy. Stay strong, and prioritize your emotional health as you navigate these challenging dynamics.